studio that's being built. Here's this going on and that going on. And, shit was under construction. To be fair, everything was looking like, oh, shit, these guys keep working. Yeah, they're going to make the fucking January deadline. Maybe even hit it before that. So I was like, all right, that's no fucking problem.
Yeah, because I mean, Concord's not that far. I mean, it's certainly not as far as West Lebanon.
Yeah, and I'm like, you know what? And what I was told was, you'd be part-time to start off, and then once we move into the building, you'd be full-time. I want you to remember that too. So,
if you're keeping score at home.
Yeah, if you're keeping score at home, there's two things to remember. So I was like, all right, yeah, no problem. So I had to give my 2 weeks notice because I was working at Newport Creamery to try and make like some kind of fucking money.
Cheap plug.
Yeah. Let's not talk about that, shall we? By the way, did I ever tell you I got molested once? I'd rather talk about that than Newport Creamery.
That's pretty sad.
Yeah, only once, man. I was a pretty ugly kid. I'm just kidding. I was never molested. Molestation's not funny. I got you. Whatever. It's a joke. Get over it, people.
Who was it that said that anything could be funny? Wasn't that Carlin?
That was Carlin. He's like, anything can be funny. It just depends on how you construct the joke.
Yeah.
And then he proceeded to make a joke about Porky Pig raping Elmer Fudd. See, got a little giggle at it. Yeah. Because you picture it in your mind, you're just like, oh, that's pretty funny. All right.
Right.
So.
That's the thing. The act isn't funny. It's the context.
Exactly.
Anyway, not to get political.
Yeah. Yeah. Get off your soapbox, you son of a bitch.
You fucking Carl.
My ex-brother needs that to call somebody a fucking liberal now. Come on. Don't be fucking selfish. Yeah, so I put the 2 weeks in, and when I was officially offered the job, I was like, oh shit, I gotta find fucking a way to be up there. So I called up our buddy Joe, who fucking total fucking sweetheart. I said, hey dude, here's the situation. I just got this job. I'm gonna be working in Nashua. Is it okay if I stay with you until I at least get to full time, and then I can look for my own apartment? He's like, absolutely, man. He's like, I got a guest room for you. Everything's kosher, man. Let's, come on up. So I was like, fucking awesome, man. So I'm staying with Joe in Medford, and it takes like maybe half hour to get to Nashua, something like that.
Yeah.
So.
And we actually got to hang out a little bit more because you were closer by. So like hanging out didn't mean driving an hour and a half to see you.
No.
Or vice versa.
Yeah. It took maybe like, 20 minutes to get to you? If that.
Yeah. I was like, hey, man, you want to go get burgers? Like, fucking A.
Fucking A, dude. You want to go see Tusk? Yeah!
Exactly.
Yeah, so we hung out a little bit more, which was fucking great. So I would go to Nashua every morning, like at least every like Monday through Friday and whatnot. And it kind of became funny a little bit because like I would come back and I would be fucking exhausted from being up during the day, and I would be there until probably maybe about 10:30, 11 o'clock sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So I would come back and I would be completely fucking drained. Because they're like, well, you're gonna be on the air with us like almost all the time. Like, if we can throw something to you, you gotta be like spot on. You gotta be ready to go. Like, okay, no problem. So just mentally exhausted and whatnot. So I'd go back to Joe's place and I would sleep until like sometime in the afternoon, and then I would get up. And it was funny because Joe's parents were even saying like, oh, how's Andy doing? He's like, I don't know. I barely see the guy. And they're like, he lives in your house. How do you not see him? There's another thing to remember. So that makes 3.
Keeping score at home.
Exactly. I'll keep score for you here. I'll help you out. Yeah, so probably about
because I think I carried the 4 wrong.
Yeah.
I'm already at 7. What the hell?
How'd you get there from 1? I don't know, but I'm scared. It all happened so quickly. But yeah, so probably so here's the thing that was going on too, man. Fucking I don't know if Joe would ever want to come on here and talk about it, but uh, there his well now ex-girlfriend was living with him as well.
Hmm.
And probably about a week after I was there, she's like, "Oh, did you find a new apartment yet?" I was just like, I'm still part time with these guys. Like, it's not going to be until like January. That's the thing. I even told Joe about that, and I never really got like a good like welcome feeling from her.
Hmm.
So I was just like, oh shit. So I think it was about 3 weeks later. Like Joe had tossed out the offer. Like, hey, my parents have offered. Like they have the room at their place. They're saying like if you want, you can go there and you can stay with them. And they're maybe like 10 minutes from Nashua, 15 minutes, something like that.
Hmm.
So I was like, all right, yeah, man, that's totally cool. So, um,
Meanwhile, he's like, dude, I gotta get you out of the house or I am never gonna get laid.
no, that's the thing. I was like, dude, you do
Well,
what you
actually,
want.
because you were never there, you said.
Yeah,
So
and if I was, dude, I was like fucking zonked out. So I was just like, yeah,
yeah,
fuck it.
they could be
Uh,
fucking right next to you and you'd have no idea.
yeah, they could have
You'd wake
been.
up next to a wet spot, be like, what the fuck? And Joe be like, sorry.
Sorry, she's kinky. She wanted to fuck on top of you. Like, really? She's like, yeah, something about fucking the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Like, did she rape me in my sleep? No. She has standards. Like, ouch.
I don't want to live here anymore.
Like, that's kind of inappropriate, Joe. I thought you were better than that.
Where do your parents live again?
um, yeah. So probably about a week after Joe made that offer about the parents, I was just like, yeah, dude, here, like, I had to pick him up from the airport. So I go pick him up, and I'm just like, yeah, dude, here's the deal, and I'm not getting a good vibe from the girlfriend. Is the parents' offer still on to go and hang with them? And he goes, yeah, totally, man. He's like, if you want, I can give them a call tomorrow morning and just see like when shit's okay for you to move up there.
Hmm.
I said, no problem, man. So, excuse me. So, it was probably it was probably like that weekend or something like that. They're like, yeah, the room's ready if you want to come on in. I was like, fucking hey, dude, let's do this. So I get up there, and like, one of the first things they do, they're like, hey, there's cable for your room. We'll hook this up to your TV. Here's this, here's that. Here's the keys to the house. And the thing was, they said, we're going to be bouncing back and forth between here and Beverly because we're having a house renovated down there. We're going to be moving down there. Uh, so there's going to be some weekends that we're not going to be here. You have full reign of the house. Whatever's in the fridge, you're welcome to. They said, the only real rule that they had was, if you make a mess, clean it up. No,
Hmm.
totally. I got you. I'm all for it. So, it was kind of funny because after a week, Joe's mom told me that story about, oh, how's he doing up there? Well, I never see him. And she goes, now I understand. She's like, you come home and I get you're exhausted, and I would sleep, I'd wake up, I'd eat dinner, work on the show a little bit, I'd podcast with you on occasion,
Hmm.
and then I would go back to sleep and do the same process Monday through Friday. So, um,
So you were just kind of constantly away,
yeah,
doing something, either sleeping or podcasting or working.
sleeping, podcasting, working up, like just looking up news stories and be like, oh shit, you guys hear about this in the news yesterday, and
Trying to keep up your chops.
trying to keep it up, trying to book some guests and whatnot, and nothing is working. Like I'm trying to like book, this guy for an interview to promote their book, or I'm just like, well, shit, I need contacts for this, and this. Otherwise, I'm not gonna be able to get this person or what have you. Total fucking nightmare. um. So fast forward to probably about, let's see, yeah, so probably about November-ish, like early November. Um, the computers kind of not really crash, but we're not able to, like, what we would do is they would record a segment and I would upload it to the West Lebanon location.
Hmm.
and it would usually take maybe 5 minutes to get in there.
Hmm.
Nothing was working. So we're like, oh fuck. So there were like 2 days straight, like the country station just played country music in the morning. Imagine that. um, so their IT guy, and I wish you could see the fucking air quotes that I'm using now because this guy, Jesus fucking Christ. He goes, okay, well we let's do a virus check. Let's see if maybe the computers are infected or whatnot. So there were like 3 or 4 main computers in the studio, and the one that I was sitting at hadn't been checked yet. The one to my left was being checked, and there were over 117 infected files at that time.
Oh my god.
And he's looking at the show host. And he's like, you know what, this is this is exactly why we need somebody up in West Lebanon. um, Actually, I got to rewind this a little bit because we had a meeting because my first 2 weeks there, I worked about 70 hours,
Hmm.
which not a bad paycheck at all, man. Um, but the general manager wanted to see me. I'm just like, did I do something wrong? She's like, well, we need to talk about your hours. I said, well, what's the problem? She's like, you work too many. We got to keep you under 30 because of Obamacare. I'm like, fucking Obamacare, man. Jesus fucking Christ. So,
But seriously, no one could have told you that before you hit like 70?
yeah, like nobody could have said like, okay, well, I was like, they told me to be there at like 4 o'clock in the morning, when I first started there. So I'm working like 4 to 11 and whatnot. I'm putting that on my fucking timesheet, no fucking problem.
Hmm.
But it also turns out when I went to go fill out my paperwork, I filled out the wrong fucking paperwork. I filled out the paperwork to apparently work at their TV station.
Oops.
I'm like, I filled out the paperwork that was given to me. I thought it was left there. Like the general manager didn't meet with me because she had a family emergency. I'm just like, you know what? I totally get it, man. Family first, man. Don't fucking worry.
Hmm.
I was totally cool about that. um, the guy Paul fucking drove up to Concord, and he sat down with her as well, and he's just like, look, we want to keep this guy in Nashua. And she was like, well, no, we need to have somebody up in West Lebanon, West Lebanon, West Lebanon. Like, she wanted me up in West Lebanon for some fuck reason. I don't know
Mm.
what. But by that point, I looked at the map and I was just going, like, fucking 2 hours. Fuck, I'm not driving 2 fucking hours, like, to work and from work every fucking morning. I said, I gotta pay fucking tolls to get up there, too, man. Like, like this shit is fucking costing me.
Yeah, seriously.
Like, driving to Nashua, hey, no problem. No fucking tolls. It's like 2 minute drive on the fucking highway.
But how long was it for West Lebanon?
2 hours from Joe's
2 hours
2 hours from Joe's parents' place. It was a 2 hour drive
each way.
each way. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
So, okay, so if you worked 5 days a week, it was 2 hours each way.
hmm
That's 5 times 4. That's 20 hours a week of just driving.
Not only that, you got to keep in mind, like gas was about I want to say about 350 at the time.
Yeah, it was high.
Yeah, it was pretty fucking high. So it's costing me about $80 like every 2 days to go and get gas, just so I
Oh.
can make it up there. I'm just like, Jesus.
So at the end of it, were you even like coming out even?
No, I wasn't. That's the fucking problem.
Yeah.
So,
How long did you do the West Lebanon thing for?
well, here's the thing. I'll get into that in a second. So, the IT guy basically says like, well, this is why we need somebody up in West Lebanon, and Paul and the general manager basically came to an agreement saying, look, okay, he can stay in Nashua unless something gets fucked. Now,
Was that the
uh,
quote? Unless something gets fucked?
it was a more professional term. Like if something goes wrong, then he needs to go up to West Lebanon. And I'm just like, fucking, why do I even need to go up there? Like, there's really no need for me to be up there if we can upload fucking everything from Nashua. Like, everything I can do up in West Lebanon, I can do from fucking Nashua.
You're like I'd be some sort of savior up there. Like I
Yeah,
can't
like,
stop the viruses.
yeah, like, that had nothing to do with me. Like,
I'm not a computer warrior, you asshole.
yeah. I'm not some technological
did
guru
you ever see
here.
that shit?
No.
The computer warriors? No.
No. What was that?
Oh my god, sir, you missed out.
What the fuck was
Anyone
that
who
from?
watched the Computer Warriors, you gotta fucking email the show because I would love to know that there's someone else out there who knows what the fucking Computer Warriors are.
You can email